Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. I hope you all are well. Today I'm on my new Suzuki DR650. Got the family with me. We're just doing some easy riding out here on the dirt. The weather's moved in, so it's raining on us right now. We're just kind of mucking about out here today. But I thought I'd do a kind of a quick video and list a few reasons on why I decided to purchase a new DR650. So join me for the ride. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Helps us out tremendously, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Let's get to it, shall we? So like I said, I just picked up this, it's a 2023 DR650, and somehow I convinced myself that I needed another motorcycle, and it had to be, you know, there had to be some specifics. So the first reason I decided to go with this particular bike is, hold on, let me preface that with, I was looking at two bikes. I was looking at the DR650, and I was also looking at the Honda XR650L. So ultimately what led me to choose the DR is pretty much seat height. Oh, the rain's starting to come down kind of good. So, I mean, you need a ladder to get on that XR650L. It has a seat height of like 37 inches. And the DR here, I think, is 34.7. So that was kind of the deciding factor on why I decided to get this bike. Reason number one, I wanted reliable and basic. So the track record for the DR650 as far as reliability is pretty good. It's a bulletproof bike. I mean, the design has been around since what, the late 90s? Is that how far back she goes? Ease of maintenance, so you know, simplicity, basic ease of maintenance is what I was looking for. This bike it's just air cooled. It has an oil cooler. It is carbureted. You can see my display up here. There's nothing. I mean, I've got a turn signal, neutral indicator, headlight, speedometer, odometer. That's it. You turn this bike on and hit the starter, and that's all you do to operate this bike, aside from shifting the gears. Maintenance wise, the maintenance intervals are pretty long, quite a few thousands of miles between oil changes. You know, it's not something you have to do, you know, every 10 hours or, you know, something complicated like that. It's just, it's got longevity between those things. So that's one of the reasons I decided this bike would work for me. Simplicity, basic, ease of maintenance. So I figure with a simple toolkit, if I'm out of the country somewhere and I gotta pull this thing apart, I can do it. I'm gonna stop intermittently to wipe off the camera here, but it's raining, so sorry if the vision gets a little blurry here and there. Okay, reason number two that I went with the DR650 is this bike is light, or I should say lighter, and it's a combination of seat height and weight of the bike. So I ride a KLR 650. I have a 2022 KLR 650. I've got it, you know, outfitted out, armored up, bags, all that good stuff. When I ride that bike and it's got all the gear on it, I know it's probably exceeding 500 pounds. And there's nothing wrong with that. I get out on the interstate and riding around and wind and everything. That bike is just an absolute joy to ride. It is extremely comfortable. However, if I get off-road in anything, you know, more complicated than the simple dirt, you know, hard packed dirt road, then, and I ride by myself a lot, so I have to take these things into considerations. And I get that thing turned, you know, dropped or turned or laid into a ditch somehow and I'm by myself, it's going to be an absolute nightmare to get that bike back up. So that was one of the considerations for the DR650. This bike, as it is right now, this is just stock. I haven't put anything on the bike yet. It's at 360 pounds wet. It's got a seat height of 34.7 inches, so I'm not quite on my tiptoes. Probably the balls of my feet. I can lower the bike if I want, and you know, it's significantly lighter than my KLR. But at the same token, I've still got quite a bit of power. So you know, you add that in with a lighter bike, and it's a capable animal. I'm still in the break-in section of this bike, so nothing too crazy today. Just some light dirt riding, you know, enjoying the drizzle. Pretty soon it's nice and cool and a little drizzle. It's nice out here in the desert, you know. We're in early March, so not too much longer it's going to be 110 degrees out here, so I'm enjoying this cooler wet weather while I can. Ooh, the rain is coming in, man. It's it's here. So reason number 3 that I wanted to get the DR650 is the aftermarket support for this bike. Man, it is plentiful. Let's just say that. I'm not going to have a problem getting anything I need for this bike. There is ample supply, so that's a pretty big deal. I mean, this bike's been around a long time. It's got a lot of aftermarket support. There's also a big community around it, so kind of similar to like the KLR. I mean, it's got a following. People love this bike, so there's a lot of resources to pull from, and like I said, a huge aftermarket support, so that's awesome. So reason number 4, I wanted a bike that was not flashy. And I mean, if you look at the bike, it isn't flashy. It's so basic. I mean, the styling is, you know, late 90s, I think, still. And you know, it's just, once I get this bike all built out and everything, it's not going to be the most eye-catching bike, you know. It's not going to, you know, look like a Tenere 700 or anything like that, or it's not a huge big battleship like the KLR 650. It's just going to look like a, I don't know, just an ordinary bike. I want to ride this thing down south, and by south I mean south of the border and down farther. So I wanted something that's not going to be too eye-catching, if you understand what I'm saying. I know people ride down there all the time with, you know, BMWs and Teneres and whatnot, and that's cool, and you know, they have no problems. But for my own personal needs, I think the less flashy the better. So I like the fact this bike is, you know, it's a subtle gray color. There's no bells and whistles and gadgets and electronics. It's just simple, not flashy. So that's another good reason I decided to go with this. All right, and here's a good example of reason number 5. I wanted a nice, easy to deal with bike that I could get in some stuff, and it's nimble. Now, if you spend any time in cities, or should I say any cities, say in Latin America, for example, you know, the streets are crazy, it's crowded, and you know, it's just your typical city anywhere, I suppose. But I want something that I can be comfortable maneuvering, and for example, a KLR 650 is not that. So this bike is big enough yet small enough that I can navigate it through tight spaces and difficult terrain and still have power. So I think this is a logical choice for me and what I want to do with the bike and where I want to go with the bike. So that was another reason. You know, a lot of things play in factor to that. You know, the seat height, the power, and all those good things. I mean, the size of the bike, the narrowness, it can easily go up stuff. I can get away from things. I've got power if I need it. I can turn real easy. The bike's very nimble, and that's a good enough reason for me. And when I looked at the XR650L, that seat height was just too much. So, you know, that's basically reason number 5 there. All right. Whew, boy, rain's really starting to come down now. We're gonna get out of here. So I said the 6th reason, final reason, I'm sure there's more reasons, but we'll end it on the 6th reason. Affordability. So there are some of these used Suzuki's DR650s, and you know, a few years old, but they're still wanting like $6,000, $6,500, you know, things like that. And the price tag on the bike was $6,999, so right at $7,000. So out the door, you know, tax, title, you're looking at a little over $8,000. That's why I decided to go with a new one instead of a used one, because used ones were still just almost as much as a new one once you're done with everything. So I figured I'll just go new. I know the miles that I'll be putting on it, and also the insurance for the bike wasn't too bad for the year. I think it was, you know, just over $100 for a year. That's another thing you got to take into account, is sometimes the insurance can be pretty expensive for a bike. So the purchase of the bike, insurance for the bike, getting the bike geared out, that of course will be a little expensive, but ultimately, you know, I'm under 10 grand on the bike, and that's good. That's where I wanted to be. If I looked at, say, a Tenere 700 out the door, I don't know what they're going for these days, 12,000. I mean, I know the sticker was like 10, but that was a year or two ago, and they're so hard to find. I think dealers are jacking up prices. I don't know 100%, but a bike like that, you know, at a minimum 12 grand out the door before you do anything to the bike, I presume. So affordability was a big thing for me, and this bike was definitely affordable. So that's it, really. And those were a lot of them. Those are pretty much the main reasons I went with this bike. So hopefully, if you're looking into one of these bikes, that may help you with your decision. I am intending to do a comparison video with the DR650 and the KLR once I get this bike all broken in and we get some gear on it and stuff. So that's on the way. And of course, we've got other bikes. We've got lots more content on the way, folks. So stick around. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It's free. We're trying to grow the channel. It helps us out tremendously if you do hit that subscribe button. So thank you very much, and also thank you for watching our content. We appreciate it greatly. Folks, stay safe out there. We will see you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.